Well, let's cross live now to our correspondent Will Grant in Mexico City. Will, this really is a tangled mess.
It really is, and just imagine how it must feel for the families who've had another harrowing night, just trying to process that information that came from the Attorney General's office. It points to the fact that their loved ones were taken by the police in Iguala, were handed over to a gang, and there they were essentially executed. An extrajudicial killing on the outskirts of a small town near Iguala called Cocula. Just awful information for the families to be dealing with. And of course we heard there in Laura's piece that they're not going to accept that information on face value. They're waiting for independent verification. They want DNA tests to come in from Austria, but that may still be some time before that comes in.
And just how murky is the police's own role in all of this?
I mean, it's absolutely intrinsic. Let's not forget that from the confessions that we've heard from 3 members of the gang, from the Attorney General's version of events itself, these people, these young students, were taken by the police of Iguala. They were then handed over to a drug gang. I mean, I think that essentially says it all, that this isn't the state, in a sense, tackling the drug gangs. This is where the situation is, as you say, so murky that the groups, the state apparatus that's supposed to be protecting the civilian population in places like Iguala are the drug gangs themselves.
OK, Will, thank you very much indeed for that. Thank you. Key parts of the ceramic poppy display at the Tower of London will stay open until the end of the month due to popular demand. David Cameron made the announcement before visiting the installation. Up to 4 million people are expected to have visited before the 12th of November, when there will be 888,246 ceramic poppies, one for each British and Commonwealth death during World War I. Our correspondent Rebecca Williams reports from the Tower of London.
This sea of poppies that has attracted people to the Tower of London over the last few months. As you can see, thousands of people have come here for Remembrance Weekend to get a glimpse of them, and we understand that part of the installation will now stay until the end of the month. That includes the weeping window that you can see behind me and the wave, and this follows a huge online petition that thousands of people have signed. Now, the Prime Minister David Cameron has been down here today to view the monument. He's described it as a much loved and respected monument that's gained a lot of momentum over a short period of time. Well, I'm joined now by a few people who've travelled a long way to see these poppies, and just tell me what your initial reaction has been.
Yeah, I mean, it is stunning. It really is. It's quite some scene. I think, having looked at all the photos all week in the news, we just felt we really wanted to come down and see it for ourselves, and yeah, quite blown away really. It's quite an impressive sight.
And what do you think should happen to them? I mean, lots of the poppies are going to be sold after, but what do you think should happen to these other features?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they can preserve it in some way, that would be great. Having said that, I do think it's actually quite nice that it is just here for a limited amount of time, because it just means that actually it's a real focal point around this time of year, which is when it's supposed to be, really. So.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies, you come from Birmingham. Just tell me what your initial reaction is.
It's absolutely wonderful. Like the gentleman before, I've watched it growing and growing each time on the television, and maybe they could keep part of it as just a memorial. Yeah.
And they have said that part of it is going to be kept here until the end of the month. Do you think that's a positive thing?
Definitely, yes. I mean, there's lots of people, I suppose, who haven't got here to see it yet and would like to see it. And I think as well, there's constant change of people in London with the foreign tourists who come. So, yeah, it'd be wonderful to keep it. It is a wonderful thing. Very good, yeah.
And you came down here from Birmingham. Has it been worth it?
Oh, definitely, yes, yeah. And the thing is, when you think each one represents a life, it's very sad, really. Well, it is sad, but, yeah, it's wonderful.
Very poignant reminder. And I should just say that the Tower of London has said that floodlights have been brought in to try and light up these poppies, so as many people as possible can come and view them. They do say that the majority will start to be removed by the 12th of November. That's the day after Armistice Day. And we understand by that point around 4 million people will have visited here. But we do understand also that part of the monument will be displayed at the Imperial War Museum in due course.
So there we are, an extension to that exhibition. Now, coming up in a moment, we shall be joined by viewers on BBC One for a roundup of all the day's news.
The Syrian conflict has dominated the news, but headlines alone will never convey the scale of the humanitarian disaster.
Please take us out. We're dying here.
I have nowhere to go.
BBC News presents 2 days of special coverage examining the damage done to Syria's identity and people. Syria's war, through the eyes of the people, this Wednesday and Thursday on the BBC News channel.